Hey guys, so in the last couple videos, I unboxed and sort of put together my first ESP32 module. And so if you haven't checked out those videos, go check them out right now. They're up on screen and also links in the description of this video. I've been nerding out about the ESP, so, if you're interested in that, go check those videos out. And today, what I want to do is sort of the initial programming of this module. So, something that I would like to note from my last video, what I did was I went and soldered the ESP32 module onto this little breakout board here. And so this is the ESP module, ESP32 from Seeedstudio. And it came with this little breakout board, which is awesome because the pin spacing on a standard ESP32, just this little guy here, is really, really small. It's even smaller than the pin spacing for an ESP 8266, 12, or 07 model. So although you can use this just barely, you can use this on your own just by soldering up wires. I don't think you're going to be able to use this without sort of an adapter, a breakout board. At least not easily. One thing that I did want to note from that experience is, though, I soldered this on and then I put these female headers on and I didn't test it. So what happened was I started to try to hook this up and figure out how to wire it for this video, and I couldn't get anything to upload. And I couldn't find too much documentation out there about flashing these to begin with, so I assumed that I needed more wires plugged in. I wasn't pulling the right pins. Nope, none of that. The flashing on this guy is actually even easier than an 8266, believe it or not. My problem was that the pin all the way on the corner here on the module, if you'll focus, there we go. The pin all the way over there, the furthest one, that's the 3.3 volt pin. And I did not solder that correctly. So I had to go back and very carefully try to solder between the headers and the board. And yeah, I could have taken the headers off, but I didn't want to, just because I'm not the best desolderer, nor am I the best solderer. So, well, whatever. But point is that if you are going to do this and you're going to solder this on here, check your connections first. At least check the 3.3 ground, transmit, and receive on the serial lines. At least check those four, because those are the four that you need to upload programs. You also need the reset button, but that's sort of on the board, so it's easier to test. So let's get into how to wire this up to a serial module. So the first thing I have here, I have 4 wires. I have a yellow, a blue, an orange, and a black. Now, I would like to have this orange be red because I'm going to use this for 3.3 volts. But let's just pretend that my white balance is off and this is a red wire. So the red wire, or the orange one in this case, I'm going to plug into 3.3 volts, and really conveniently on the back of these boards, there is a little pinout on the expansion board. So you can see that the 3.3 volt pin is this pin right here. So that would be the outer pin on this side. So there's 3.3 volts. Ground is right next to it. So those two on the end, 3.3 and ground. And then I'm going to have blue be my receive. So RX, as you can see on the back of this, is on the outside, on the same side as power, and it's 3 down. So there's my RX. And the last one, TX, is right there in between RX and positive. So they have everything clustered neatly together. Hopefully you can see it there if it'll focus. So you have power and ground and TX and RX all right there clustered neatly together. So that's easy enough. If you don't have a breakout board like this, you will also need the reset button. I don't believe you need the IO 0 button. or an IO0 connection at all. The reset button is should be pulled high, and then when you click it, it gets pulled low. So maybe like a 10K resistor to 3.3, and then a connection to ground on the button. But luckily, this little breakout board does all of that for me. So now we just wire it up to a serial module. Now, this is a serial module that I actually modified a while ago for the 8266. It's got a much beefier 3.3 volt output. But I'll be honest, I haven't tested this with 3.3 volts just on a standard, power input from what's on board these guys. I do believe that the 32 is supposed to be more power efficient, so you might be able to get away without having a beefier power supply on your uploader. But at least for right now, I'm going to use this one because I know that this works and I've tested it. So my TX here, my yellow wire, I'm going to connect that to the RX, the receive line on my serial module. The power, my orange wire, I'm going to connect up to 3.3, black to ground, and blue to TX. Because remember, TX from here goes to RX on here, and TX on here goes to RX on here. So it's backwards. Okay, so now I should be all wired up and ready to upload a program. So let's hop over to the computer. I'll plug this in. We'll see if we can get a program to upload. All right, so here you can see on the screen, I have the Wi-Fi scan example open. And once you get the tool chain set up, you can go straight to examples, and there are some directly for the 32 dev module. And so you can see it's basically some of the similar programs from the 8266. So just as a test, I want to try uploading this. So my serial port has been set, and I've set my upload speed to 115200. I will note it defaulted to 921,600. I didn't have much success with that, but I'm sure it's probably a speed that you could upload at. But for now, I'm sticking with 115200. And of course, I'm selected on the ESP32 dev module. So I believe all I have to do is reset the board and upload. But you may also need to hold down IO0 like you do on the 8266. So let's see whether or not this works. So I'm going to upload. I'm going to hold down reset. Okay, uploading. It looks like it is uploading. I see activity both directions. Oh, nope. Did not upload. Okay, we got an invalid header packet. So let's try this again. Maybe hold down IO0. Okay. Still not working. Okay, so I was wrong. My bad. You need to both reset and hold down the IO0. So both of these should be pulled high, and then on your buttons, when you push them, should pull low. So that is the lesson here. So it is just about as difficult as uploading to the 8266. But with these little breakout boards, especially when they include the buttons on them, it shouldn't be too hard. And like I said, you do need basically a breakout board because the pin spacing on these, it's built to be surface mounted. So you really do need to mount it on a board first. But let's just try this again. I'm going to hold them both down, release. Okay. Yep. So that is the process there. Hold down both, release, reset, and then release IO0, and that puts it into bootloader mode. So as you can see on the screen, it is uploading 676, 84, 92, 100, done uploading. So now if I open up the serial monitor, we should be able to see various Wi-Fi hotspots. I think you do have to reset the board after you upload it. There is no auto reset, so let's try that. Yep, there we go. It's starting up, it's scanning, and it's found a whole lot of networks around me. So that seems to work. That's really awesome, and it just keeps scanning. So there is your first, well, my first program on an ESP32. So here's the whole process, start to finish, as I have now figured it out. You need TXRX power, all of that going to a serial module. You need reset, which is also the enable pin. So on the 8266, there were 2 pins. There was a reset pin and then an enable pin separately. Those are now the same pin. So there's no more differentiation between reset and enable. So you hold down reset, hold down IO0, release reset, release IO0, and that puts into bootloader mode. Then you upload your program on your computer, and if all goes well, it should upload to the module. One thing that I will note that is somewhat upsetting, and I'm sure as more variants of the ESP32 model come out, this will be fixed, but there's no LEDs on here. There's no indicator to me that I even have power, which was sort of where the problem came from before, me having to resolder the power wire. I couldn't figure out. I didn't know I didn't even have power on here. So I would like to see some LEDs. I'm sure that I could, hack it together and put an LED on here, but it would be nice to have it by default. So that's my really only big complaint here. The next thing that I do have to say is don't worry about getting this right now, okay? I'm sure you guys all have tons of projects that you'd love to do with this, but at the moment, if I go to the GitHub page for the ESP, this Wi-Fi, about 99% the same as ESP8266, and I noted that there were going to be some differences here. So they have not figured out how to get LWIP running, or haven't gotten it working successfully fully on here yet, which means that things like Wi-Fi client and server and UDP and MDNS responder, which is what I believe MQTT uses, the library, doesn't work right now. So I can't even use this for anything really all that useful right now. And half the functionality, I mean, they barely have things running. So honestly, I think I have this running right now. I think it's going to be a really, really useful module, but it's not ready quite yet. It's there, we have it, there are physical boards, they're going out to people, but it's not, the software isn't totally ready. So don't be upset that you can't get yours right now. I'm honestly going to probably shelf these for another couple months before I really do anything big with them, just until the software stabilizes a bit. But it is really cool. It's really nice to know all the features and functionality that this guy has. I really like that at least this little breakout board that they gave me with these 2 buttons does make uploading programs much easier. I'm not having to fabricate my own, breadboard setup, which I actually started doing a little bit last night before I realized that it was the power wire that was not connected. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap up my initial couple videos on the ESP32. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to hear what your thoughts are on the ESP32. I want to hear what you guys think that I should do with this module, because honestly right now I don't even know this thing's got Bluetooth. I don't even know what to do with Bluetooth right now. So if any of you guys have some cool project ideas that you want to see me try, or you want to talk about, you want me to talk about, definitely let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm definitely going to be working with the ESP32 more, and I am also back, and I will be making more ESP8266 and Arduino videos. So definitely subscribe. I'm back, and I'm making videos. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll see you guys next time.